this edition of Spotlight with Sandhya. Our guest today is Shan Re, a prolific and versatile artist. Her body of work includes drawings, paintings, sculptures, installations, and also live art that she has done at several occasions that I have been present at. Now, what impresses me about Shan, apart from her art, she is keen on making a commercial success of herself. And she has become a commercial success. She's a strong, independent, and dedicated woman who I'm very proud to call a collaborator and a dear friend. Welcome to the show, Shan.
Thank you, Sandhya, for your beautiful introduction. And I'm proud to be part of this Spotlight with Sandhya.
Very recently, your latest collection of art was taken up for display at an art gallery here in Bangalore. So can you tell us more about it? I think it's called Poetry in Gold.
Yeah, it is Poetry in Gold. During the last year lockdown, I have created this series called Poetry in Gold. In this body of work, I try to explore various philosophical connotations of the color gold. Color gold is a symbol for spirituality. So, color and texture, these two are the main features, most important features in this series. And this series I have started exactly last year this time, and like breathing, and color evokes a psychic vibration in me and unlocks my creative flow. For me, creative process is like a spiritual experience, and it is a form of meditation. So in this series, I have used a lot of textures, I have used a lot of gold, and I also use a lot of white automatically because white is a color of certainty. And I think during this pandemic, we all are seeking for certainty, and my hands automatically picked up white, more white, and I have used white very extensively.
Shan, I think it would be interesting to know a little bit more about your journey as an artist and your journey here when you moved to Bangalore. I think the two are very closely connected, right? So can you share a little bit more?
As you know, when we enter in this world, we are like a white canvas. Life writes its story. So I think we have a choice to create our own canvas of life, exploring various possibilities. I have always been connected to art since my childhood in one way or other, but becoming an artist is an internal journey. I started my professional journey in the year 2000 after my near death experience. One afternoon, I was in the kitchen and I slipped and tripped and fell on my face. So I had an internal hemorrhage and I was in coma for 6 hours. So I was almost gone. After 6 hours, when I woke up, I asked only one question: how long will it take to recover? Because I never wanted to play a victim's role. So my face was disfigured and swollen, and then it took 3 weeks to reduce the inflammation, but the pain was always there for 4 years. But during that time, I diverted all my energies into painting and drawing. So that was the beginning of my journey. And my husband was the one who motivated me to take up art as a profession because he discovered my potential as a true artist. Then I started painting, and he was not, unfortunately, he was not there to see my evolution. So after that, I continuously worked for a few years. I moved here permanently and entered the art market in the year 2007. So 2007 is a very important phase of my life, and for 4 days I hired Alliance Francis because at that time I was nobody and no gallery was not welcoming. So I went there and I booked for 4 days, and I started my show. But in that time, my guests were only four people because I don't know anyone, I didn't have any contacts. So 3 days passed by without any visitor, not even a single visitor was there. But I was very confident about my journey, and I was very confidently, I said, my show is going to be a success. I did not give up. That time, fourth day, closing day, two people came, two buyers. Each one bought five paintings. So,
Wow, that's
yeah. So
fantastic.
total, I sold 10 paintings for a very good price. So that gave me a lot of confidence, and I moved ahead and continuously I had solo shows 2008 and 9. And by that time I was known, I was popular because I was doing many live paintings and I was involved in many charity actions. Then after that, mm, 2009, exactly that time I was just moving ahead. uh, the economy crashed, everything was crashed, global recession was there. So, but I was very optimistic about my journey and everything, but I was not disappointed or disturbed. Then I used to remember one thing which my husband told me. Remember, you are not born to be a princess to live a fairy tale life. You are born to be a warrior to fight, and you are inspire the world. He also said that stay strong, and embracing the fire empowers you to transform your life. So I keep remembering those words and to move forward, to believing in myself and take it forward.
So, Shan, some of what you've been telling me, I think that's partially revealed in this exhibition you had a couple of years ago, Exhumed Memories. I think there's a beautiful love story there involving your husband and the way the two of you work together and how he continues to guide you. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
It was Exhumed Memories is like a masterpiece of my journey, both personal and artistic. So I have lot of poems of him which was written before he met me, and many other things I gathered and treasured. So I used all of them in my one day. Suddenly, when I was sorting out my studio, I saw all these things, but I didn't want to throw any of them. But I don't want to carry. I cannot carry them throughout my even after my lifetime. So I want to give some immortality to it. So then what I did was immediately once the idea comes into my mind, immediately I get into the action. I started doing it. Whatever material I gathered, I have some cardboard pipes and things like that. Everything I gathered and somehow I finished using all that. And also I have done one more thing. I write poetry. So I wrote poetry, not only my poems, and I have written poetry through him. This is what I am going to actually tell you today. As a psychic medium, I can channel with the higher dimension and I can communicate with them. So, a medium, as a psychic medium is different, and a psychic is a different. A psychic is somebody who can tell you about your future or fortune or something like that. A psychic medium can be both a psychic and acts as a medium and communicate with the universe. And information comes from any corner, just like that. It is like an internet connection. If you lose internet connection once in a while, but I get like a connection once in a while. You lose it, I get it. So it is occasionally I get into this, and through that I have written series of collection of poems, and I implemented them in my show.
I remember that show very well. It was beautiful, and I think it was very powerful, very moving. And I don't think that many people who came to that show had ever experienced something like that. There was a very strong energy at that show during, while we watched all the exhibits. Thank you for sharing that about you, Shan, because I always know that though you're very popular and you're very friendly and you go around connecting with people, that's the professional side of you. As a person, you're very, very private. And I wanted to bring out this side of you during this
Yeah,
conversation.
really, it is very true because I don't share with anything with anyone. I very private and very reserved. And my daughter Romy used to think I don't talk because I don't know what to talk, and I don't know how to communicate when she was younger. So she used to prompt me, you can say this, you can say that. That she doesn't know I'm a silent observer and I can feel others' energies. Even if I meet them for 1 second or 2 seconds, I can perceive many things at one glance. So she doesn't know that initially. So she used to think that I'm not talking because I don't know, because she is an extrovert. I'm an introvert. So that's the difference, that is the perception. So I can perceive many things at one time, and I can feel energies of other people, and I can feel others' emotions as well. And sometimes when I go out, when I meet strangers, because my energy is different, they keep telling me their stories without knowing who I am and even my name. So that means they are seeking for some solace, or they are seeking for some wounded souls only come to me generally.
Is that what inspired you to start offering art therapy? I know, at the Under the Raintree Festival, the second edition, you did a workshop which was very, very successful, and a lot of people who took part in it felt an immense sense of relief. You did art therapy, you launched your coloring book for adults, and all of it seemed to be coming from a very deep place within you. So, can you tell a little bit about this?
See, I believe that psychological immunity is well-being, psychological well-being and psychological immunity is very important, like physical immunity. I feel that my art has helped me as a therapy. Art is the sole purpose of my living, and without doing it, if I can't do it for 10 days, really I feel empty. So I'm a living example that art helps you as a therapy. So continuously, every single day I work for 7 to 8 hours. I feel so good. So I wanted to help others to create awareness about the importance of mental well-being and importance of art in their daily life. So I started this and I was very passionate about it, and I helped them to regulate their emotions and in self-regulation, rehabilitation, and emotional well-being. And I also help them to process their emotions and practice mindfulness through art.
That's beautiful. And I do know that a lot of people who attended the workshop found very good results from it within their own minds and emotions. Shan, I know that you do a lot of different kinds of art, right? You do drawings, and there's one example here which I'm very fond of. That's yours, and I think that's one of the very first works of yours that I got. And then you do painting, you do installations. How do you move from one to the other? And what guides you to make this shift?
See, uh, actually, inspiration comes from motivation. Motivation comes from ambition. So my inner fire is what guides me, what inspires me all the time. I stay inspired all the time because of my inner fire, and no, I can't without doing different work. I can't do same work all the time because it is very monotonous. So my creativity is my energy. That energy is the starting point. When I sit in my studio in silence, solitude, I get ideas and I cannot control without doing it. I cannot keep with the unfinished work without finishing it. So that is my problem. Initially, I started with my journey. I have started with abstract work. It is very spontaneous and intuitively I move between mediums and I do different work.
One of the interesting things is that you've also done a collaboration with a luxury brand. And
Yeah,
I think that work was even showcased during New York Fashion Week. How did that
yeah.
come about?
I have done two collections with them. It is a sustainable luxury fashion brand, and I have painted on bags, fashion bags, and with my signature artwork. And it was shown in New York Fashion Week in 2 years. So it was very challenging because it's a new medium. I never worked on leather. First time I worked on leather. It is very, very challenging because the medium is different and the colors I used in at that point of time, particular medium is very different. So that time even I was going through for the second collection, I think I was going through viral arthritis, and one way your rain tree under the rain tree women's cultural festival was going on all together. It was like a homework for me because I never think like that because I have to finish particular time deadline was there. So every day morning I used to count how many I have to do, remaining how many I have to do. Somehow I finished and they come out very well.
So I think there are some other challenges also that you would have overcome during your journey, Shan.
See, my life was never a straight line, it was a spiral. So mm I was, I flow like water, so I can see through any obstacle and I can make my own way. So, what happened, once I sent my work to a big art fair and I traveled there because my work is there. When on the opening day, when I was searching for my work, they were not on display. Then I realized that they forgot to open my box and sent it to the warehouse. But I was not disturbed, but I was very much disappointed. Same thing happened in a very big international show. So I'm used to it, and I have created galaxy of stars inside me to move along with the life's flow. That's it. I can't do more than this because those things are not in my control. So I don't take it as a problem. I try to find solutions on my own. This is what I would like to share with you.
That's actually a life lesson for most of us, because when things do not go the way we expect, we have a tendency to kind of implode or explode. But this is a very, very mature and sensitive way of handling it. And thank you for sharing it, Shan.
I don't react to situations, I only respond to them.
Shan, your daughter, Rumi Revola, who's also a very well known young sculptor, do you happen to work together or any projects? And how is it to be living with another artist?
See, Romy and me, as a mother and daughter, we have a very special bond, but still we both are into same profession. So sometimes we exchange ideas and we collaborate and we work together. For many projects, we have worked together, but we both are two different personalities. She is a typical Leo and I'm a typical Scorpion. She is an extrovert and I'm an introvert. But our philosophy is the same, our values are the same. So we are into same group shows and many other international shows. Recently, we both had show in Singapore. It went off very well, and we exhibited our work in New York recently. So like that, we keep doing, and it is one way. It is very helpful since we are both in the same profession. So I'm always very happy about it.
Wonderful. We've used your work to illustrate our books. You've been very generous in giving it, and you've taken part in all of our festivals. In fact, your images are the one that formed the theme of the first edition of the Under the Raintree Women's Cultural Festival. So, how is it that you're so deeply influenced to create these very powerful figures of women? I mean, the faces of these women. And even recently, I think during the lockdown, I think you were influenced by the migrants' journey. Those beautiful, images of the feet that you created. Tell me how that process works. It's very, very powerful. And I would like to understand how this process works.
Yeah, I strongly believe that women should be financially independent. So that is the reason I focus on women. So at the grassroots level, girl child education is also very important. So I always support these causes. During the lockdown, I said my colors were not there. Everything got over, and I could not get it because of the lockdown. So I thought, okay, let me. What is the option? Then I started doing drawings. Then I saw these migrant workers and their plight and everything. Then I used that time to create powerful narratives based on. I used feet as a symbol for the movement, for their plight, and see feet also symbolizes melancholy. So they were going through a very tough time. So I used that and created a lot of work. It is a series by itself.
There is something very positive that's been happening to you during this whole crisis, right? Your works have been selling very well. And I know just a few days ago, there was a collector in France who's managed to lay their hands on your work.
Actually, this last year, there were, I think, a lot of online sales happened. So I was happy to be part of it.
Wonderful. And I also know that you celebrated a milestone birthday recently. So congratulations on that again. And what's next, Shan?
I always think what is next. I don't think of what I have done before. I keep moving forward with greater speed. What is next? What next I can do? What next project I can do? What next series I can do? As if I'm running, So I'll do like that, but I forget what I have achieved so far, what I have done so far. And unless you remind me, I was not uh, actually recording or documenting anything.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Shan. Thank you for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing more of your very, very interesting works in the next few months. And I hope we will be able to have the third edition of the Under the Range Women's Cultural Festival. And you're going to be participating in it. I'm very confident that we are going to make it happen.
I feel that confidence is everything. Confidence is beauty. Confidence is your thing, You should be self-assured, then only you can move forward.
I really agree with you on that. To our viewers, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Spotlight with Sandhya.
Yeah.
Love to hear your comments.
I enjoyed a lot.
Thank you, Shan. And do share this video, subscribe to the Raintree Media channel. You can also listen to this interview as a podcast on Google, Spotify, and several other platforms. Until I'm back again with another interesting guest, take care and bye-bye.